So my relationship with nature is based on the fact I'm a wildlife filmmaker, which I've been doing for 30 years. I started at the BBC Natural History Unit and worked on a whole range of series from Planet Earth to Frozen Planet, Planet Earth 2, became an executive producer, and then I went to Africa to make a film with my husband on elephants for Disney, and I now have co-founded a company with my husband called Wildstar, and we're making a number of projects through the Wildstar now.
So by being in your industry then and being in contact with nature, what's important to you?
I love telling stories about wildlife. I think it's really important that we share our passion for nature and for the wilderness with as large an audience as possible. And that's my particular emphasis, is to try and get that global reach. I want international audiences from young to old to appreciate, admire and hopefully save animals and the environments they live in.
Thank you. So in your line of work, are there differences in terms of gender? And if there are those differences, how do you navigate, how do you collaborate?
So my history in wildlife filmmaking was, I started at the BBC, and when I started there it was white, male, privileged. I was considered a very high risk person to have in the industry, which I find bizarre, but that was the reality. It was very dominated by men. I worked my way up slowly. I found strategies to do that. The great thing about that is I learnt skills. I was apprenticed and I worked with many great filmmakers. But when it came to the point where I wanted to get my ideas across and I wanted to actually shape a vision for a film, it was much harder to be heard. And that's where you have to take tactics like make other people think your ideas are their ideas. And that's the way you get things made. And it's something that, I look back sometimes with a bit of resentment, but at the same time it's taught me negotiation skills. And actually a lot of those men that I worked with in that way have now recognised the need for other voices in the industry, and they're now helping in a new capacity.
Have you ever had to change your work ethics in order to conform to get, not necessarily be successful, but have you ever had to sort of conform in work?
Yeah, I think that it's complicated what it means to be a woman in this industry. There are definitely differences. I do see stories and I see ways of telling stories differently from the men, certainly, that I have worked with, and I've had that suppressed. And that's largely not necessarily because of them, but it's because of the commissioning, whereby there is an expectation of one type of storytelling which makes money, which is seen by lots of audiences, and it's self-perpetuating. So I haven't changed my work ethics, but I've certainly suppressed the kinds of stories that I've wanted to tell. And that's what's great. I'm now in a position to start my own company. I can tell the stories that I want to tell in the way I want to tell them. And, we're doing a series called Queens, which is largely about matriarchal, female-led animal societies. And we're doing it not really just to do that, but we want to show a more complex story about social structures in animal society. And we've got a production team that is diverse. So it's not just women, but we've got people from a range of backgrounds as well.